Well, I have to say this is so cool because normally I'm out talking about Zooppa and what we do trying to sell our products, and I have to explain what crowdsourcing is. And a lot of people still are not really sure what it means. So to come here in a room full of people who live and breathe crowdsourcing is a great experience. And you know, it's kind of the graveyard shift here. A few of us are a little bit jet lagged. So I think we need to do something. Could everybody just stand up right where you are? And we're going to do this little sort of football-style cheer. I'm going to say, give me a C, and you guys yell C. And then I'm going to go S, then I'm going to go W, and then I'm going to go, what do you got? And you say, crowdsourcing week. Okay? And we got to do it really loud. So let's try it. Give me a C.
C.
Okay, one more time. Give me a C.
C.
Give me an S.
S.
Give me a W. What do we got? All right, great. So good creative power from this crowd. Our company actually started in Italy in 2007, and I got involved in 2008. I lived in Europe for many years. I was the publisher of Time Magazine's European edition, and through some friends, heard about Zooppa. The company had been going just a few months, and I couldn't believe this user-generated platform that was taking place in Italy. And I saw this and thought, this is the advertising model of the future. So we brought the business to Seattle, where I live, and we're a US company now, but we still have a great operation in Italy and around the world. We produce content for brands, and I'm going to show you some examples of what that looks like. Can we go to the first one? So before this starts, I'm going to show you an example of a project we did with Chevron, the oil company. And this is a project that Chevron did for their corporate social responsibility program for World AIDS Day. And they asked us to produce videos in a video competition about what people around the world are doing to fight AIDS. AIDS will lose. So I'm going to show you one of 220 videos that came in. And all the videos that you'll see are exactly the way people send them in. It's all finished work. So let's take a look at this one.
AIDS is more than a syndrome.
It's the wicked witch,
the evil queen,
the bad apple,
the villain who refuses to die,
AIDS is the oppressor,
the bully,
the cold-blooded killer,
and the arch nemesis
to our society.
We live in an age
of strength
and courage,
of technology
and scientific innovation.
It's our turn
to refuse to die.
AIDS affects everyone.
Our lives
and our grandparents,
brothers,
fathers,
mothers,
sisters,
co-workers,
mentors,
and friends' lives
are too precious
to be lost
to such a devastating
disease.
Awareness,
education,
communication,
testing,
support,
and treatment
are vital for us to eradicate
one of the world's most widespread
epidemics.
I am a voice.
I am a voice.
I am educated.
I am educated.
I
am aware.
I am aware.
I am aware.
I am a hero.
I
am a hero.
Join me.
Join me.
Join the cause.
Together,
we can win.
And AIDS is going to lose.
So pretty amazing, a giant, very conservative American oil corporation would take a stand on AIDS like that. And I have to say they hadn't done crowdsourcing before of content. They were very, I'll say they were nervous about the process. We worked with their PR company, Edelman, and their media agency, MEC, to pull this together. And they were thrilled with the results. They put up $100,000 in awards for the best videos. That video won $40,000 in this competition for those filmmakers. And they had films come in from all over the world. And afterwards, we had thank you letters from people saying, we had the Desmond Tutu Institute, for example, in Cape Town that came in third place, saying, my gosh, we never would have known about this. You gave us a voice on the world stage. You gave us thousands of dollars from Chevron. And it's a really cool example of how crowdsourcing can match up corporations and real people doing important things. So a little bit about our company. We have a creative community of 320,000 members. It grows by about 4,000 people every month. We have a partner network of universities, film schools, professional associations around the world with a constant flow of fresh talent coming into our community. And what's been really cool the last couple of years is that we're winning awards for creativity. So we go to these big awards banquets in New York or in London, and we're sitting alongside all these giant ad agencies winning gold medals and creative awards on behalf of our community members. I'm going to talk about two of these award-winning campaigns today with some short case studies. One of them is this Ogilvy example with IBM on People for a Smarter City. So some of the companies that we work with, and I think some of them weren't on Joel's bar charts for ICA, but we work with over 200 brands, large companies like Procter & Gamble and Coke, and a lot of smaller companies, a lot of tech companies, and government and nonprofits as well. But one thing that's been really interesting in the evolution in the marketing side of crowdsourcing is now we work with ad agencies. And when we started, I had a lot of friends in ad agencies in New York and London, and went into these agencies when we started Zooppa and said, wow, here's the greatest thing. We can produce all this content for your clients. It's really fast, it's really cost effective, and you get this really authentic user-generated voice, yet good production quality. And they looked at me and said, oh, Wil, this is our worst nightmare. You're going to kill our margins. We make all our money on production. So I knew going to the agencies wasn't the way to get Zooppa off the ground, so we worked directly with the brands. But over time, the brands brought their agencies in, and we learned that advertising with big campaigns need to be integrated with the agency. So now half our business, over half our business, comes from ad agencies. It's the fastest growing part of our business. And they look at us now as a production partner. And I remember when Leo Burnett called our office for the first time, I fell off my chair thinking, gosh, we've really made it now. The agencies are coming to us. So it's an exciting area. It's media agencies, PR agencies, and creative agencies. So, we still have to justify crowdsourcing. We're still questioned about it in the advertising world. Is it creative genius, or is it lowest common denominator, kind of shaky YouTube videos? Is this a risky way to go, or, is it experimental, or is it really a practical solution? And I have to say, as some of the speakers this morning were talking about, there is still a wide spectrum of professionalism and support in crowdsourcing. And it's something we all need to work on to have credibility. But I think today you're hearing a lot of examples of how crowdsourcing is professionalizing. And it can produce remarkable results. And the term crowdsourcing is new, but the idea of competitions for creative design have been around for thousands of years. And take the example of architecture. The Acropolis, the Cathedral in Florence, the Sydney Opera House, Liberty Tower in New York, these were all done through architectural competitions, really a form of crowdsourcing. So, one of the things that works so well for crowdsourcing in the creative world is the idea of collaboration, people working together to produce this content. And, I don't have time today to go into a lot of depth about that in this presentation, but if you haven't read this book, Group Genius by Keith Sawyer, highly recommend it. And he talks about how, all these examples in history of, you think, the isolated genius who came up with this idea, it's not really valid. If you look into it, this is all through collaboration. It gives the example of the Wright brothers. Everybody thinks the Wright brothers invented the airplane. But in fact, they were just two brothers who were building on ideas that other people had put in place. And then, obviously, the first aircraft only went a few feet. So a lot of other people had to build on their ideas to get us where we are today in aviation. So, we tend to think of these geniuses doing great things, but in fact, even Albert Einstein will admit it's collaboration that gets these ideas to become reality. And what we found at Zooppa, when we do, as ICA does, closed competitions that people can't see the other entries that come in, only the brand can see them. We get a quarter as many submissions, and I have to say the work is not as good as when it's an open competition and people can share the ideas and there's a lot of dynamism with it. And marketing is going through a lot of changes right now. A lot of marketing is about control, and I think as we've heard today, marketers are loosening up, realizing that give a little bit on control and you get a lot back in creativity. So the social power of crowds brings a lot of benefits to marketers. Insights and diversity of ideas. Diversity in the US is a huge topic right now because the country is split in so many different demographic groups. Obviously Europe has lived with that for years, and Asia as well. So crowdsourcing brings so many different groups into the creative process. We put out a brief. We think an ironclad brief, all the work is going to look the same. But in fact, there are so many interpretations of that brief with so many people with so many different backgrounds. So it gives a lot of richness to brands. The way we do crowdsourcing, there's a lot of sharing. It's a very dynamic process. So each creator has a fan base, and they get involved commenting, voting, sharing, and spreading that work if the brand wants to have that kind of social interaction. We know that people don't trust advertising. There's been a lot of research in the US. 3/4 of Americans don't trust company ads, but peer-to-peer is a trusted source. And if you know the person who made that ad or that video or that banner, or it looks like probably somebody you know made that, you're going to trust that a lot more. So in the marketing world, we're seeing a change in culture from a downloading culture to an uploading culture. In other words, people want to be involved. They want to trust the brands that they're working with. They want to have fun with it. They want to be involved when they want to be involved. But most importantly, they want it to be relevant. And that last one, relevance, is the hardest thing for brands because the new generation of consumers have new standards, new ways of looking at things. And so one of the big benefits of crowdsourcing is to make brands relevant and to bring that relevance back. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. First one is on package design. And this is with a client called Mike's Hard Lemonade. They make alcoholic beverages. And they believe in crowdsourcing from start to finish. So they allow consumers to choose new flavors, to name the flavors, design the packaging, select the designs, and then have collector series that people cherish. All this is done at a fraction of the cost of traditional marketing through crowdsourcing. So this is on the Zooppa site. We have these competitions going on all the time. And in the case of Mike's, for each flavor and each package design, it's $30,000 in awards. And there are 4 winners. Each winner gets $7,500. So Mike's is getting thousands of designs from their fans, and this grows each time we do it, more people getting involved. It's on their Facebook page, so their own fans get involved, as well as the Zooppa creative community. You have to be 21 or older to enter this because it's an alcoholic product in the States. But they get so much social sharing and so much involvement with these processes. So the act of the creative process is a media program in itself. So here are 4 winners from one of the flavors, the apple firebomb flavor, cinnamon spiked apple ale. And what's kind of cool about it is each of the winning designers has their name on the can. They actually name the flavor, they name their can design, and their city. So you can see this first one is Mad Kitty Cocktail by Debbie Gillespie from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And some of these designers are really accomplished people. Some are amateurs. We have meetups from time to time, and we had a meetup in New York recently, and I met one of the designers that did these cans. And she works for Vice Media and Cosmo Magazine. She's a professional magazine designer, and she loved doing this. This gave her a chance to get into packaged goods and gave her something different to work on, and it's great for her portfolio. But this Mad Kitty Cocktail was kind of a funny story because, anything internet has to have cats. And this cat became an internet sensation. And the cat's name is Waffles. And it just took off, and it started to become one of their best-selling cans. And so Mike's decided to do a whole promotion around Mad Kitty Cocktail. And so they did a photo shoot with the cat, and of course the cat is looking away, being a cat. And they took it a step further, and they got all the famous internet meme caps, and they're all promoting Mike. So, you know, kind of the serendipity factor of crowdsourcing, you don't know where it's going to take you. But again, relevance for the brand and really tapping into the whole cat thing. I'm not a cat guy, but, you know, they're cute. Here's some other examples of another flavor, dragon fruit. And these are all, the 4 winning cans now are in stores in the US. Of course, there were 2 cats in there too, but they didn't win in the finalists this time. So all that to say, it's in this example for package design, the act of designing, the act of crowdsourcing is a media campaign in itself. It builds awareness, social interaction, and relevance for the brand. Let me show you a different type of campaign, and this was one that we won the award for in March, the Gold Award, with the ad agency Ogilvy, and we worked with Ogilvy in Paris and New York, and their client IBM on a worldwide basis. And you may know that IBM has a huge program going on, People for Smarter Cities, showing how IBM's technology and expertise can help cities evolve for the future. In this case, there was an awards pool of $28,000 for people to create videos, and there were 8 topics for people to create videos. And one of the cool things about crowdsourcing in the video world is there are filmmakers everywhere, and we can match up filmmakers with people with a story to tell. So in this case, it's people telling stories about these 8 different subject areas. So I'd like to show you, we just edited, these were 2-minute mini documentaries telling the story of what people are doing, and we just took 10 seconds out of 6 of these videos to give you a flavor for the kinds of things IBM was tapping into. Let's run this video.
I really like the idea of taking the cardboard as a raw material and making something fun out of it, like bicycles, for example.
What we focus on is to trying to change the children's life of the trash pickers in hope that they will have better lives than them.
Walk Your City is a smart, citizen-powered signage development project aimed at getting more people to walk and ride their bicycles. Our affordable campaigns help cities embrace walkability through eye-catching, offline street signage.
We designed a 300-person amphitheater. We also put a cafe, a kids' play area, a trade school, a library, 30 different art pieces, and a huge amount of potted plants in creative different ways. The park was made completely out of recycled, upcycled, borrowed, and found materials.
If you have an internet and some smartphone or tablet PC and a signing interpreter with our system, we can expand everywhere in the world, even in the developing country. So deaf people can make a phone call everywhere, anytime, for whatever they want.
Using material collected from the streets and junkyards around town, Mrs. Vania and her 2 children, Vandré and Vanielle, manufacture music instruments and weekly organize handicraft and music workshops.
So those don't do these stories justice, but it was just to give you kind of the look and feel for the amazing diversity and range of ideas that came in from all over. And IBM is using these to help spur People for Smarter Cities. So it was really crowdsourcing to spur a much larger crowdsourcing effort to promote that. So closer to the advertising, more traditional advertising world, here's an example of project we're doing with Procter & Gamble. We've done many projects with them, and Love's Diapers has a new product called Night Lock, which locks in any moisture so that the baby will sleep through the night. And so the creative brief here was, show us what parents do when you finally get your baby to sleep. I don't know if any of you are parents, but that magical moment where you have some free time. And do it in a music video that people are going to watch and share in social media. So let me show you what one of these looks like.
Baby's asleep.
All you parents out there know what that means. It's time to get the party started. That's right. Here we go.
First thing we do is hit the jukebox and crank it up. I know the baby's asleep, so level 2's enough. Then I hop on the laptop and give it a buff. Yeah, this party is about to blow up.
My first move is the kitchen to the red wine rack. Then I'm ordering pizza. I ain't cooking jack. Toast socks, come on. Put my feet up, relax. Cause we got loves on the bum of the kid in the back. We gonna party all night till about 9:15. Got the loves on the babe wrapped tight. No more duty. 200 baby pics, I'm gonna post them all. My little man is taking over social media walls. Then I'll lay out the map, cause it's time for yoga. But who am I kidding? I can barely turn over.
I'm the game show king, that much is clear. I shout out the answer so my wife can hear. Then I notice some blocks and that avocado. But this is party time, I'll pick them up tomorrow. You know what? I'll just grab them real quick.
It's the truth, we like to party without any shoes.
A little Scrabble, do battle, then we'll watch the news.
Proud parents of the smartest kid we know.
But seriously, he really is advanced though.
Now the hubby's asleep, and it's alright. Thanks to loves, we're all gonna sleep through the night. We gonna party all night till about 9:15. Got the loves on the babe wrapped tight. No more duties. Yeah, no more duties. Love's Nightlock got it handled. We out.
So you can see that's probably not the kind of thing an ad agency's going to do. It's got that user-generated look and feel, and yet it's really entertaining. So we had 53 music videos like that. That's exactly the way it was sent in. And everything from country western to singer-songwriter to rap. And we worked with Saatchi & Saatchi in New York on this campaign, and they told us it had more social traction than anything Loves had ever done through their social channels. So it was a lot of fun, and you know, for a fraction of the cost of even one commercial, they got 53. So crowdsourcing can be a great way for packaged goods. Some examples of Procter & Gamble print ads. So these are prints for Wella shockwaves. In 20 days, they had 546 submissions. They looked at us and said, oh my gosh, we've got a year and a half's worth of social media content in 20 days at, you know, a very reasonable cost. So just to sum up, you know, crowdsourcing for creativity is incredibly powerful. Collaboration is the name of the game. The competition that goes with these drives excellence. And communications brings relevance to brands. I think thanks to crowdsourcing, we're going to see creativity blossom. And truly for marketing, we're about to enter a golden age. And all these techniques, all these things we're hearing about at this conference, I think work doubly well in the marketing world, and we're going to see some pretty exciting times ahead. Great. Thanks, Epi.